Today, I have a real treat for you, the Indiana Fire Poltergeist Mystery. This is one of the most baffling and terrifying cases of paranormal activity ever recorded. According to newspaper accounts, it all started in 1940. A married couple named William and Lillian Hackler were living in their farmhouse in Odon, Indiana for about a year. It was a peaceful and quiet place to raise their two children, but they soon found out that their home was anything but. Mr. Hackler had been on a milk delivery route for the Graham cheese factory that he worked for on the morning of June 22nd. It was a Saturday. He was making the rounds when he got word that a fire truck had been at his farmhouse. He was told that there was no damage to the home and continued to finish his delivery route. When he arrived at the farmhouse at around 10 o'clock that morning, he found out that it wasn't the case. The fire department had ripped out the plaster near the chimney, thinking it was the source of the fire. There had been two fires in the upstairs rooms inside the walls earlier that morning. Later on, the fires would break out randomly in different rooms and at different times of the day. The Hacklers tried everything to stop the fires, but all the fires were small and caused very little damage. One of the fires was inside a high school biology textbook from one of their children. The children then discovered that only one chapter in the entire book was burned. The chapter was titled Unknown Friends and Foes. The children decided to save the book and had visitors to the house sign their names on it. The fires continued to ignite in random places that day, many of them witnessed by the visitors. Window curtains, wallpapers, the corner of a stair tread, and papers under the bed catching fire. The fires just kept starting. In total, there were 28 fires, all causing minimal damage. The Hacklers had enough. They decided to move out of the home. Mr. Hackler hired a crew to dismantle the farmhouse and build a new home about 100 yards away while still on their farm. No one could solve the mystery of the fires. But in the weeks that followed, talk around the community began to revive the story of the previous family that lived in the home. It was said that the family got into spiritualism and began to speak to their dead son, who was buried on the property near the home. According to accounts, the father buried his son in a grave that had a glass-covered section that showed his face at all times. The father had told people he knew that his son would cause knocking noises around the house to show that he was around and that he would communicate with him daily. It was a disturbing story that fed the community's belief that a haunting was the cause of the fires. Some called it a fire poltergeist. Many pointed out that the previous family's occult practices may have cursed the home. No one knew exactly what that family did inside the house, but was it likely the cause of the mysterious fires? After the death of both the father and mother, the boy's grave was removed and placed in a cemetery with a more traditional and unrevealing grave. Some say that action upset the spirit of the boy who still inhabited the farmhouse. And by the time the Hacklers moved in, the boy's spirit became upset at these new inhabitants and began causing the fires in anger. People who did not want to believe the house was haunted at the time believed it was caused by a chemical that was spread to the inside of the walls due to rodents. But it doesn't explain the textbook and curtain fires that were witnessed by several people. Others believe it was electrical wiring causing the fires, but the Hacklers' home did not have any electrical wiring installed at the time. Another theory was the presence of a strong natural magnetic field causing static electricity, but firefighters did not believe that was the case. Even though the fires were minor and did not spread to the entire home, the damage was still estimated to be several $100s according to newspaper articles. The Hackler family would no longer experience this phenomenon after they moved to their newly built home on the farm, even though the new house was built using some of the salvaged wood of the old house. While the incident occurred on June 22, 1940, only a few people would know about the incident until April 19 of 1941. That day, the popular Collier's magazine had a full-page advertisement by the Travelers Insurance Company in which the entire incident was described by them. For that reason, many people had believed the incident occurred on April 19, 1941. But newspaper archives prove the incident was on June 22 of the previous year. What do you think? Do you believe in poltergeists? Have you ever experienced anything like this? Let me know in the comments below.